The hum of the engines filled the cabin, steady and hypnotic. Row 6 sat quietly, except for one young woman who had drifted into a fragile sleep. Her head rested against the window, hair loose and falling forward, her breathing shallow. At first glance, she seemed like just another tired traveler, but on her shoulder, pinned carefully to her cardigan, was a handwritten sign, "If I fall asleep, please wake me for insulin." It caught the attention of a flight attendant first, who hesitated, then passed the message to the cockpit. A few minutes later, the captain himself, a veteran pilot named Daniel, stepped out during cruise and walked the narrow aisle. He leaned gently, his trained eyes scanning the sign again. He had seen a lot in 25 years of flying. Anxiety, fainting spells, even mid-air births, but this tugged at something deeper. Daniel crouched down, speaking softly to the attendant. "She's diabetic, traveling alone, probably scared she'll miss her injection window." And as if on cue, the woman stirred awake, startled to find the pilot himself kneeling beside her row. "I'm Daniel," he said kindly. "I couldn't help but notice your sign. You don't have to worry. We've got you." Her cheeks flushed. "I didn't want to be a burden. I just can't afford to miss my dose." She fumbled with a small case in her bag, embarrassed. "My mom usually reminds me, but she passed last month. It's my first flight without her." Silence. The words hung heavy in the air. Daniel placed a steady hand on the armrest. "Listen, you're not alone up here. Everyone on this crew is your family until we land." What happened next spread quietly through the cabin. A business traveler offered his watch alarm. A grandmother in row 7 shared a bottle of juice just in case. Even a teenager who had been blasting music through headphones lowered the volume and said, "I'll keep an eye out too." By the time the insulin timer went off, it wasn't just the flight attendant who nudged her awake. It was nearly half the row around her. She smiled through tears, whispering, "I thought people would ignore me." The pilot shook his head. "Not today, not ever, if kindness has a say." When the plane touched down hours later, the passengers didn't just file off like strangers. Several stopped to squeeze her hand, wish her well, or offer help with her luggage. She walked down the jet bridge with her shoulders straighter, her heart a little lighter. And in the cockpit, Daniel sat back for a moment before the next leg of his journey. He thought about how fragile life could be, how sometimes it takes just one sign, a handwritten note on a shoulder, to remind us what humanity is for. In a world that often feels rushed and divided, strangers in row 6 proved something simple yet powerful: compassion is contagious. And sometimes it can fly higher than any plane.